In the day 10 lesson, which is the second lesson of the Japanese internment 2-day lesson, students are going to continue examining documents, but today it's going to be focused on photographs and images. And this is the directions on the slide for day 10, that they're going to examine 4 additional pieces of evidence, and then that the tasks are marked as part 1 and part 2. I do think that's a little confusing. Part 2 is really just a summary of what they've discovered, so I don't really think these need to be divided into 2 parts. And the kids are just going to be continuing to add evidence to their graphic organizer, looking for who, when, where, what, why, and how. If you want to do a quick just check in with students about what they've been able to figure out before moving on, this is the slide to do it. And then they're going to jump into the additional 4 documents. So this time, again, they're working with images rather than text. So they really need the previous day to provide that background content, because it's not going to be gotten in this lesson. This is the same question as they had for the last lesson for day 9. How and why were Japanese Americans interned or imprisoned during World War II? But they are looking for the motives of the crime. And so you want to reiterate what motives are for a detective. And this is just your directions. Have them look at documents 6 through 9. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go through the documents in detail. I do that in the next video. But students are using these documents to, again, figure out the who, what, where, when, why, and how of Japanese internment, of the crime of Japanese internment. And the link here does provide them with a larger zoomed-in link. So we've got some images of families and children traveling to the internment camps. We have an image of Japanese American boys behind barbed wire. This is a very interesting document to break down with students. A lot of them are going to recognize Dr. Seuss, and in fact, a lot of other lessons will discuss Dr. Seuss because he has a lot of politically relevant cartoons. But this is not one of his finer hours. So really breaking this down with students can be important, because I think it makes it a little bit more. It brings it a little bit closer to home, that this wasn't just strangers in the 1940s. Interning a bunch of people. This was many people who believed this racist, discriminatory policy should be enacted. And then the final document here is a map of the internment camps. This one in particular, students might want to zoom in on, because there is a lot of information here that are a little hard to read. So after using all of these documents and adding to their chart, to their graphic organizer, they are going to write their investigative report. Now, this really can be what you want it to be. So guide students on how involved their investigative report should be, but they should definitely be answering what was the crime, who were the key players, and what were the motives. And in my next video, I'll show you a pretty brief example of an answer. And then there is a slide here for that answer. Then there is a bit of a wrap up. It is always important to remember that there's more than 2 sides, 3. There's thousands of sides to the story. And one of the things that is often forgotten is that while all this was going on, thousands of Japanese Americans were serving in the armed forces overseas as well. And that the 442nd Regiment was the most decorated unit. It's a really important. It's a really important part of Japanese American involvement in World War II. And so we don't want to forget that. So this slide I hope you don't gloss over it. And then there's a wrap-up question, which is really, student opinion. But the check-in question does discuss the racism of the executive order. So this is a little bit of context, just that the United States admitted wrongdoing in Japanese internment and tried to make amends. You can definitely have a discussion about whether this was enough to make amends for Japanese internment. But the last slide is just a quick check for understanding on why Executive Order 9066, which was the executive order that ordered Japanese American internment, was racist, And then it gives students a chance to connect this this executive order to other laws in time. And in my next video, I'll talk about some of the other laws that students might mention. And that's it for this lesson. So they have a lot of documents. The day 9 is really text document heavy, and day 10 is more a couple of supporting documents, supporting photographic documents, and it gives students a chance to synthesize all the information they've gotten. You can adjust these lessons by removing some documents if you don't feel that they're necessary, or they're too complex, or providing more supportive evidence, which you can find a lot of sources in the links in the beginning of this slide deck, and that I point out in the last video.